Hey, what's happening? It's Jakib. We are back for the UNPL Season 6 draft recap. The Baltimore Bergmites are in the main season of the UNPL after an amazing playoffs finish in Academy last season. Um, I'm going to leave a link to the Discord and a link to all of my coaches down below. Go support the UNPL. Go support my other fellow coaches. It's going to be a great season. But without further ado, why don't we just get into the draft recap? So up first, we have Annihilate. We did Terra Bandit this season, and we do have some specific Ubers in here this season, like Palkia Origin, Giratina, Dialga Origin Form, Magirna. I was second to last on draft picks. So all the Ubers weren't going to be around till I was able to snag them. But let's just talk about Annihilate here. It's a Drain Puncher, Recovery. It is a move that gets stronger with every single time Annihilate gets hit. With Rage Fist, it gets Stealth Rocks. This thing is a Spin Blocker. Choice Band, Choice Scarf, Leftovers, even Expert Belt. This thing hits like a truck. It's tanky as a truck. And I am so excited for this thing to put in the absolute work. Moving on to my second pick, we have Ursaluna Blood Moon. I think it pairs so well with Annihilate. People sleep on this thing. A Blood Moon will annihilate almost anything. There are no switch-ins. It, with Mind's Eye, hits ghost types. It also pairs well with Annihilate because while it does have a fighting weakness, Annihilate's immune. So it pairs super well. It's bulky. This thing lives several hits. This thing should not live. And nothing really wants to take a hit back. So my opponent has to make a choice. Do you really want to stay in against Blood Moon? That's on them to decide. As you'll see, it is another slower Mon, but I think you'll see where that's kind of going later on in the draft, so I'm going to leave that to be a little bit of surprise. Moving on to our third pick, we have Metagross. I will be transparent. I have never used Metagross before. This thing gets Agility, Psychic Fangs, Heavy Slam, Body Press. Thing can be banded, thing can be scarfed, thing can be slow run into Trick Room. You'll see that's kind of a common theme with this team. This thing can just run wild, and you have to play around it. Also, all three of the mons I've signed, they can also be weakness policy users. So my opponents have really got to think carefully about what they're hitting me with. Metagross is just a great addition to the team. It covers weaknesses. The typing's really nice. And I just don't think my opponents are going to know what I'm running. So they've got to tread carefully. Let's move on to the fourth pick that the Baltimore Bergmites have selected. Ogerpon Wellspring. Ogerpon, we're finally getting a little bit of speed within this team. Thank God. Because I was drafting kind of slow mons at first, and I need to kind of ramp up the speed. I think Ogerpon does that nicely. Also, the UNPL does this rule where if one Ogerpon is taken, the others cannot be drafted. So I have the only Ogerpon on my team. Really solid. It is Terra Band. That's unfortunate. But nothing wants to take like an Ivy Cudgel. It has setup. It can be defensive. It also has the water absorbability to cover one of Blood Moon's major weaknesses. So they kind of cover each other really well. It just hits like a truck. It's fast. Not a lot of mons really outspeed this. It's insane, and I'm super hyped for how this is gonna look. Like, I'm already liking my draft. I hope y'all are too. I think it's cooking. Moving on, we have Hatterene. Now y'all see where this is kind of going. First off, my opponents already were kind of stuck on not being sticky webs because of Annihilate's ability. Now they gotta watch for status moves, setup with Hatterene. Also, my team kind of works really well under Trick Room. So my opponents have got to really think about that. Because I'm just going to sit here, set up Trick Room. Also, Hatterene is a monster on its own. I don't need Trick Room for Hatterene to 6-0 somebody. Like, oh, this mon is just so nice. It's sexy. It's beautiful. This thing is going to do what it has to do for the team. It can go bulky. It can go offensive. It can set up Trick Room. Oh, this thing is sick. I've actually never used Hatterene in draft before. So that and Metagross, 2 new mons for the Baltimore Bergmites roster. I'm excited to see what they do. I'm so hyped. Next, we have Terra Arcanine Hisui. Oh my god. The worst thing about Arcanine Hisui is its typing. And you're telling me I get to change that? And Terra Rock. Rockhead. Head Smash. Boom, 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 boom. This thing is going to eat people alive. I don't think my opponents are ready for it. I don't think they're ready. This thing is going to dominate. I think this thing's going to get slept on. This is one of the best pickups I think I could have made. I had the amazing Dapper. He's another coach in the league, another co-commissioner with myself. He kind of helped me make this roster. Shout out to him. He's a GOAT. But when he selected this, my jaw kind of dropped and I was like, we allowed this thing to Terra? It can also go Terra Normal Extreme Speed, Terra Fire Flare Blitz, Flame Charge sets. Can go Choice Scarf, Choice Band to make my hits even stronger. Like, nothing's going to want to take this. And I am so hyped. I think this was one of the best pickups I've made. Terra Arcanine Hisui is on the Baltimore Bergmites roster, y'all. Let's get it. Next up, we have Muck Alola, another Mon. Slow. Works really well under Trick Room. It can run Gluttony sets. It can run Poison Touch, Gunk Shot, Knockoff, Shadow Sneak. Get status on my opponents. And I think we're in for a really good time this season. It's also so specially bulky. It's insane. This thing puts in the absolute most. And I just think my opponents aren't going to expect how bulky this thing is and the amount of work this thing can do under a Trick Room team. It's nutty. And, I mean, I have a little bit of a ground weakness with Metagross and Alola Muck. Arcanine Hisui can tear out of that, so that's not really a problem. I mean, but I have answers to it. That's the thing. Like, I'm telling you, Ogerpon Wellspring will eat ground hits like it's nothing. Like, it's delicioso. Yum, 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 yum. I'm hyped. Let's get it. I'm so excited for this team. I'm excited for y'all to see my next Mon. It's a little unexpected, but it's Terra Dodrio. I don't think people realize how fast this thing is and how hard this thing hits. I am just going to go ahead and, if I can spell, Dodrio, D-O-D. We are looking at 110 speed, 110 attack. With Terra, this thing also gets access to, like, Jump Kick, Brave Bird, Double Edge. Like, this is another monster. My opponents are going to be like, is he bringing Arcanine or is he bringing Dodrio? So it kind of also plays with their mind because I have 2 Mons that can absolutely hit like trucks. The next member of the team is actually Noivern. Again, we're picking up the speed here. You know, we're picking up the speed. So what I love about Noivern is it's fast. Not a lot's outspeeding it. It can hit like a truck. Boom Burst. Draco Meteor. U-Turn. I can just put a specs on this and have things go bananas. Like, people aren't ready for this. I'm not ready for this. But I'm hype as hell. I'm really hype. Like, I think Noivern's going to be a great addition to my team. It's another defogger. As you see, I have a lot of hazard control. And you'll see a little bit more of that within the next few picks. Up next, we have, I don't know why it says Noivern. It is Ampharos, Terra Ampharos. I'm so hyped. Ampharos is going to be absolutely insane. It's bulky. People underestimate the bulk that this thing has. Cotton Guard. Discharge. It can be a really good defensive Terra Captain. Thunder Wave. Like, in my opponent, I had to sit there. I'm just like, yeah, yum, delicious, absolutely fantastic. Keep on giving it to me. And it's a tank. And it can also put in the work when it needs to as well, which I think makes a great addition for my team. And the last member of the Baltimore Bergmites. If you remember last season in Academy, we had Hisui Avalug. Now we have Terra. Not Terra. Regular Avalug. Super defensively bulky with Stardy. Super defensively bulky. Again, another form of hazard control. We have Spin, Avalanche, Body Press. This thing's defense stat. Let me actually tell you what its defense stat is. Its defense stat is 184, 95 HP, 117 attack, 184 defense. This thing is living physical hits for days. I'm really excited about the Baltimore Bergmites draft roster. I think it's a great team. I'm super proud of this team, and I think we're going to do well. I'm so super excited for the opportunity to participate in the main season of the UMPL. I hope you guys look forward to watching. There will be content every week from now that drafts are up. And I'm excited to see what y'all think. Anyways, thank you all for sticking with me through this draft recap. I appreciate you. I will see you guys on the flip. Baltimore Bergmites, out.